What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Try Time Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Callum, and this is the top 10 Scrum Halves in Super League. Now, if you haven't seen already, we've done every other position of this already. So we've done the second rowers, loose forwards, props, hookers, fullbacks, wingers, centres, and standoffs. And now we're on to Scrum Halves, which is the last position. But before we get into it, I'll just remind you, we have got our subscriber competition at the minute. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we are going to be giving away a shirt to one of them lucky subscribers. So subscribe to be with a chance of that. And yeah, let's get straight into this list. So at number 10, I've gone Theo Farge. Now, interesting one, Farge, because I think he's just kind of throughout his whole career just been a solid player. He's probably on the back end now, but I still think he offers something at Catalans. And I think you're always going to get solid defence, half decent kicking game and stuff. He's just a solid he's still Super League quality. Halfback really, so I think he just kind of had to be on the list, but nothing too exciting. Next up, number 9, and I've gone with Matt Frawley. Now, honestly, at the start of this season, he, after the first couple of months, he may not have even been in this top 10, but I think he's definitely brought it back. Not to the point I think he deserves to be like top 5 on this list, because as you will see, there is a lot of solid, halfbacks in this league, but I think Frawley shows enough that, 9, there's probably 8 better than him. If he can kick on like next season at Leeds under Arthur, I think he could easily be top 5 next season, but, we'll have to see on that one. Number 8, we've got Drinkwater. Now, I think when looking at that Warrington spine, I mean, me and Matt have definitely said in the past, that's probably the weak link. You've got Dufty, who's great, Williams is great, and Walker's great, and if you haven't seen the other videos we've done on the other positions, that's shown through where they rank in all of them videos. They're all high up. Whereas Drinkwater down at 8, don't get me wrong, he still absolutely is Super League quality, and he still is a solid 7. But I don't think, and I might be proven wrong this season, they may go on and win the league, but I don't think they win the league with him at 7 necessarily. I think if they brought in one of these 7s, maybe who's a bit higher up on this list, I think that would push them to the next level. But yeah, Drinkwater's still fine. I don't want to just say negative stuff about him. He's number 8 on this list. He's still a solid 7. And in at number 7 on the 7s video is Adam Clune. Now, I think first season at Huddersfield, I think they started a bit promising, didn't they? But it's been a bit of a poor season, hasn't it, really, for Huddersfield as a whole, which has probably impacted Clune in how he's looked, I guess. I think he's still looked fine, one of the better players. I think he's got a really good kicking game, just that solid, experienced number 7. Like, I don't think he's going to offer you all too exciting, but I think he's kind of like, he has not been the problem at Huddersfield. There's been a lot of other issues. And I think Clune's absolutely fine. No issues with him at all. I think he'd, a lot of teams in Super League would have him as well. I think he's just that solid professional. Number 6 is maybe a bit of a controversial one. I've gone with Jack Campagnolo. Now, Matt kicked off at me for not putting him in the 6s video, which I kind of agree because he would have been in that video, but he has recently been playing 7, because if you look at all the lineups, he plays 7 at the minute with Leyland in the halves. Now, so he had to be on this list because he's unreal, by the way. I think, teams next year should be fighting for his signature to get him staying in Super League, because he's way too good for the Championship. He's great. I think the way that he adds pace whenever he catches the ball into the line, he is probably more of a traditional 6. I think he's still got the kicking game, and he's still fine. He's kind of brought a degree of structure to a London team that's, obviously, people have said it's just a team of Championship players. He's brought a bit of that elite level of structure, and when they're attacking a team's line, they're doing it. They throw the ball about, they don't mess about, and he's such an integral part of them being able to do that. I mean, look back to Magic Weekend, and some of the tries that they scored, Campagnolo were just a key cog in all of them. Now we've got top 5 then, and we've got Lewis Dodd. Now I know the one team who probably are not going to support the player being high up on this list is Saints, because they don't like Lewis Dodd. He's obviously off to NRL next year, which is great for him. Being a bit of a scapegoat at Saints, I think he's great. Like, for the age, and he's come through Saints Academy, he's really mistreated by that fan base. I think he's solid, and the NRL doesn't just sign anyone. I know people are going to pluck out a player now who I've not even thought of, who's gone to NRL and done absolutely terrible, but they always pick, even like a Cruz Lehman went over, and he still did a job. Like, he still had the potential to go over. Dodd's even younger, and I can see why, teams in Australia are looking at him to mould him into that sort of NRL level half, which I think they could do. Yeah, I think he's fine. Is Lewis Dodd? I don't think there's any issues with him. He's not. Maybe his fault is he's not got one thing that he's great at. Maybe as we get high up on this list, you'll be able to tell there's each sort of one has got a thing that they're great at. Whereas I think Dodd's just kind of a master of all trades. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, he just can kind of do everything. Not necessarily to an elite level, but his running game's good, his kicking game's good, defensively he's good. Like, it's just one of them. Solid 5th pick, I think. Now, top 4, this is where it gets interesting. And now this is where I think these 4 could start in the NRL and not look out of place. Like, I think Dodd needs work a bit still. These 4, I think, are like the 4 elite 7s in the league. And we've got Lachlan Lamb in at 4. I think, people are touting him to go back over to the NRL. I think he could do. I think he really kind of could crack it in there. He's just great, isn't he? I mean, when he was in Championship with Elite, it was just stupid because he was like so much too good for the league. And even now in Super League, he's great. His running game, obviously, he's an explosive runner. That's his thing. He's takes the ball to the line like an NRL 7 does. As you'll see as we get further even into this list, some 7s who are like English 7 is more of a traditional, organiser, whereas in the NRL you've got to be able to have a running game as well, which Lamb does, to be honest. I think he's great, yeah. Top 3 now, and we've got Harry Smith. Now, Harry Smith's a bit of a polarising one. I know Matt's not too high on him. I think he's great. I think his big thing is his kicking game. His kicking game's great. And he has got a running game as well. I'm not saying he can't run, but his master is his kicking game, whether it's off the tee or in play. He's great. Obviously, he works really well within a Wigan system that is great, like a great pack that he's got at Wigan. He's got a great halfback partnership with Bevan French. He's got Jai Field as well at the back. Like, it's such a good spine at Wigan that helps him flourish. Would he do as good if he was at, I don't know, Huddersfield, who are kind of down in that sort of, not going, in that sort of lowly part of the table? Maybe he wouldn't, but we'll never know that, I guess, because I don't see him leaving Wigan anytime soon. Not to another Super League team anyway. Number 2, we've got Mikey Lewis. It just adds a bit. I know he played 6 for England, and I know he's more of your modern NRL 7, but he does play 7 for KR because it mays the 6. So he's great. Obviously, his thing is his running game and his ability to wind everyone up, which I think is quality, to be fair. Obviously, if you're playing against him, you don't want it. But like when he's playing for England and he's doing it to Tongans and stuff, it were great. And it's great to see. And he's the sort of character that you need in the game to push the game forward. He's a poster boy for Super League going forward. Him and Wellesby, probably. Like, he's great. And, I mean, he's unlucky not to be first on this list, to be fair. But, yeah, I think Mikey Lewis is great, and everyone knows he's great. So, and number 1, we've got Mark Sneyd. I've got to get him on this list because next season he probably won't be able to because he's just getting older and older. But he's just getting better and better. Like, he was always a solid 7 that probably would have 5 years ago coming at like number 6 on this list. But I think if Salford did not have him, they would be nowhere near the playoffs. His kicking game is it's the best. I would argue it might be the best in the world, to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong, there'll be a few in NRL that are probably up there with him, but I think his kicking game in play and obviously off the tee is great as well. But in play, it's amazing. His organising skills as a 7. He's a proper old school 7, but he has got the running game as well for his size. He just punches above his weight. He's defensively great as well. I think Mark Sneyd's absolutely amazing, and he deserves this top spot on this list for me. But yeah, it's up to you now, guys. Let me know who have I missed out, who's in the wrong spot on the list, and yeah, let me know. And look, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.